and ran our last team meeting a little differently. So the last 2 team meetings, I've kind of shifted slightly how we operate the meetings, and I'm already much happier with how much time we spend talking.
Yeah.
And what we accomplish. It's not necessarily the time. Like if we talk for 4 hours, which we don't, unless it's the annual meeting, right? It just needs to be a productive and successful 4 hours. If it's 60 minutes, it needs to be productive 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And one of the things in Herding Tigers about talking about like meetings and communication within meetings was just start the meeting. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. What you up to? How's things going? Which like me being so I'm a straightforward person. Like, you good? We good. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a problem? Let's talk. Cool. Hey, you good? No? Well, you're lying to me. I can tell. You sure we're still good? Okay. You say so, whatever, and we move on. Right? Like, I'm straightforward.
Yeah.
But, so take my personality archetype of being straightforward and him saying, the author of the book saying, like, hey, when you start meetings, just start them.
Yes.
Like, get into the creativity, get into the nuances. Your team will follow suit, but in a good way. It's not like they're not following, like, you know, it's Herding Tigers. Right? We're all creatives.
Just starting the meeting, I think everybody likes that because we can all see the benefit of it. I think it's a unanimous thing that everybody thinks meetings can be a waste of time in some manner or
Correct.
other. But that waste of time is pretty objective when you talk about what they say in Herding Tigers. Just start the meeting.
Yep.
We are wasting time when we're going through how's your day? How's this? How's this going? What are you doing today? Or, if it's not relevant to the work.
Yeah.
Because those conversations are more meaningful outside of work meetings.
Correct. Start with a pleasantry. Hey, everyone good? Because if someone says no, well, yeah, hear them out. Like if there is a problem, but if it's like yeah, you get 5-6 yeses, we're in, cool. And so so just starting, I was like such a simple thing, but like within creatives, and like he broke down like the reason why it's good just to start, and I was like, yeah. I'm a straightforward person. I sure would like to just get going. I talk to all of you guys. At least I talk to somebody on the team every day.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I didn't talk to Ken today, our editor. He's editing. He doesn't need me. We're good to go. Didn't talk to him today. Bet you I talk to him tomorrow though. Mm-hmm. Like Ryan and I texted a handful of times today, 12 times, but it was text, easy, quick, and then here I am talking to you. So it's like, but just, I don't need to talk to everybody every day. It's just the self-sufficiency component. But he broke down like why that was best. And I was like, love it. Our next team meeting's in 2 days. I'm just going to get going. And I think within like 30 seconds we were in it. And I was like, love it. Immediately made me very happy.
I got to call your wife out, though. It's getting dirty on this podcast. Your wife, at the very end of the phone call, she's like, wait, quick question. And I was like, I thought we wrapped up. I thought we were done.
Yeah.
Who's picking up the kids? I'm like, get me off this phone call.
You said
we did so well. And then we get to this ending point. I'm like, what are we doing?
You hung up, and which made me laugh because I knew why you did it. For that exact reason, actually.
I literally walk out of like there. I don't know. All right, here you
I was like,
and you're like, all right, so we're gonna save the parent talk for after the phone call.
Yeah, I was like, honey, we'll text.
I'm like, Brittany, why?
Bye.
I'm like, why'd you do this?
Hung up, and then 10 seconds later, I have a text. Hey, so is it me or you? And I was like, this is 100% the definition of what can be offline.
But like, if you don't read this book, I mean, obviously it's not everybody, but you don't see these things.
Yeah, it's funny.
Prior to reading this book, I always had felt like meetings are a waste of time. But if you don't know why something's bad, then you can't really. Then it's not bad. You can't say something is objectively bad if you don't know why. So if I think meetings are a waste of time, why are they a waste of time? Mm-hmm. But then, along with the negative things, why are they a very positive thing to have as well? And I think it talked about that in this book, unless I'm conflating things. But the meetings, we have to have those. We have to have updates. Businesses need to have meetings. You have to take an hour block, or some businesses do daily stand-ups where it's like a 15-minute call. Clients are allowed to be on the calls as well if they choose to. They're not obligated to, and they just do a stand-up where everyone, this is what I'm doing today. This is what I've done. Here's what I haven't done. Here's my blocks. This, that, and the third. And it's what ultimately runs an efficient business. If the project managers, I guess like you in the case of hosting it, makes it go efficiently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was definitely a better meeting than usual.
Yeah, which I'm gonna make a few more tweaks, but like super minor, and just keep the efficiency going. Just knowing that like we all do talk, and when we all talk together, we just need to be a little more streamlined. I offloaded a project to a different project manager today, where I onboarded a client to one of our project managers, and that client gets a dedicated amount of pre-production phone calls and meetings, right? And I had to tell that project manager, hey, I'm going to just tell you right now, they're going to request in-person meetings for their dedicated allotment. Do not allow more than one in person. The rest can be virtual. And they were like, well, if they want in person, like, shouldn't we give them in person for all of them? And I was like, no, because at the end of the day, you have to drive 40 minutes there and 40 minutes back.
Yeah.
Plus, in-person meetings are known, statistically proven, to go longer than virtual meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you...
We did that recently.
Yep. Yes, we did.
A long time.
Yep. That was that's a whole different thing. So they're statistically proven to be longer, like on average. I don't remember the number. 9 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes. I don't know. I literally don't remember the number. I just remember the statistic proved that in-person meetings are known to go longer. And I was like, no. I told them, I was like, no. They can get one of these in person, whether it's the first, the second, the fourth, whatever, right? But the rest have to be virtual. Because at the end of the day, if you just do the math, right? Like, if it's 5 pre-pro meetings for this large-scale project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the project manager is driving, let's call it 35 minutes. I'll split the difference. There and back, that's an hour and 10 minutes. Times 5, you're talking they're in the car for 6 hours.
A whole waking day. Pretty much.
And then if those meetings on average go longer, that's 5 hours and 50 minutes of driving. And if they go longer, you could be tapping 7, 8 hours of extra time that you've allotted. Right now, you just said it. That's a day. That's a day of work over the course of 3 months. Just because. So
yeah, I mean, I think in-person meetings have their place, where it's got to be something really difficult or complex.
And that's why I explained to them, hey, like,
lines.
One of these can be in person. I'm going to tell you right now, this client has all the writings on the wall that they are going to want all of them to be in person.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, that's not feasible for us, because we're the ones who are eating the time.
Yeah, and
hey, I'm big on time management. You know that.
Meetings to set up a job are really good, and then meetings with who? Like, if you wanted me to do an in-person meeting, what would really get me going is if you brought your boss. Because then I know that you're really going to care about how this goes. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get off topic because you don't want to look bad in front of your boss. Then I get to meet the champion of whatever the cause is that we're working on. That would be ideal, I would like, if for in-person meetings, I would almost always want there to be some type of, like, trophy to go. And that would be like meeting a boss or meeting a higher up, but or like I said, like fixing a complex situation, and meeting sketch jobs.